Hi everyone, my name is Barbie, and I'm inviting you to my Barbie dream house.
Whoa, this Barbie thing looks so cool.
Today, I'm going to show you a bunch of awesome games right here in my Barbie dream house. So I hope you're excited and ready to party with me, Barbie. My mansion party, we're going to have totes so much fun, as I have made so many Barbie games where you can really be who you want to be.
I mean, we can go, but it's gonna have to be a little bit more my style.
Come on, y'all. Let's go. Bratz style. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Barbie. Sorry, we're done with that. Hi, guys. Today, we're doing something a little different on the channel. We are going to be comparing Barbie video games versus Bratz video games. Now, I grew up playing both of these games, but today we're really going to dive deep and figure out who is superior, okay? Now, honestly, there are so many Bratz games and so many Barbie games that we gotta start with maybe just section 1. Now, I grew up mainly playing Game Boy Advance games, so we're gonna start by comparing the Game Boy Advance games from Bratz and the Game Boy Advance games from Barbies. Now, hopefully this could be a series in the future, and we're gonna go through all the other ones, as there's Wii games, PS2 games, and 3DS games, and so many more. So we're gonna start with the first layer of these 6 games. You can decide in the comments which is better. Battle of the Dolls. Now, if you are new here, welcome, hello. My name is Nina Gabriella, or today you can call me Barbie. And we do a lot of fun in fashion on this channel. If you'd like to see more behind the scenes, I am just uploading a fun little Minecraft video over to my member side of the channel, along with a couple behind the scenes of some other projects I'm working on. So be sure to check out my member side. And if you just want to see more videos like you are watching right now, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to see more like this. Now, let's get into all of the fun today.
Round 1 of our Super Smash tournament, we are starting with Barbie, Princess and the Pauper versus Bratz Dress Up, Get Down, and Be a Bratz Superstar. So if you've never watched the Barbie movie or the Bratz movie, let's first start with a little bit of a synopsis. We're going to talk about Barbie, Princess and the Pauper first before we move on. So this movie came out in 2004 and is honestly one of my favorite Barbie movies and still is to this day. The movie was based loosely off of the Mark Twain novel, The Prince and the Pauper, and it is the first Barbie film that completely excludes fantastic elements, fairies, magics, and, mermaids. So this was quite a different story than what we're used to seeing from the other Barbie movies. So if you've never seen the movie before, basically this movie is about Barbie, who is playing 2 roles, one being a princess and one being a poor village girl, and they both dream of having some kind of freedom, and they realize when they cross paths they look very similar, so they end up switching their lives to kind of achieve some of their freedom dreams. Now, we're not going to dive too much into the actual movie, we're going to be talking about the game mainly. Now, the game, of course, is based off of the movie, but it was created within the same year, as both the game and the movie was created in 2004. So this game kind of loosely follows the Princess and the Pauper story, but in this game you focus mainly on the brunette character Erica as she tries to prove that she's worthy to be crowned queen. So in this game you're kind of helping Erica along with also playing as Annalise, the blonde-haired girl, to try to help her navigate some of the unique environments in the game. So you're kind of playing as both characters through like a village and a castle and a forest to kind of get her prepared for the coronation ceremony. So within this game, you're playing a lot of like mini games and you're solving puzzles, and you also have like a little boss battle of like the bad guy who's trying to stop you. So there's a lot of things that you're doing in this game. I will say from what I've played of it, it's okay. Just right off rip, as you can see, the graphics are, well, the graphics, so that it's a Game Boy Advance, so what do you expect? But in this game, it kind of plays like maybe an old classic Mario game, but you're kind of switching through the characters. To me, I found that to be a bit tedious. I hate the fact that you can't just play as one character, you're playing as both characters, so you gotta stop and go back and get the other girl and yada yada yada, which you'll see a little bit of footage of here. So things that I did like about the game. I do like how cute it is. I like the nostalgic element for me, especially because I loved the movie. I also love the fact that there's so many mini games. You can groom your cat. There's kind of like little banner activities you can do. Lots of little mini games to help you complete the tasks in the Book of Royalty. Lots of areas to go. And for this being, an early Game Boy Advance game made in 2004, you really got to give it credit where credit is due, where there is a lot of things within this game that is just very well thought out. Now, I will say things I didn't like. It's just clunky, very hard to play, especially on the Game Boy Advance. You're kind of just like really mashing buttons. Honestly, I was really struggling with even enjoying this game. So I will say that is to look out for. The game can get a little frustrating and repetitive at times as well, so I will say, comparing this to the Bratz game that we are about to talk about, I'm going to give this game a 3 out of 5 stars. It's not the best game, not the worst game in the world, but it is playable. I will say, if you love the movie, I think you'd like the game. I wouldn't say you love the game, but, it's something to play, not the worst thing in the world. Now I'm comparing this game to another Bratz game that is just honestly equally as clunky in my opinion, so let me talk a little bit about that one, and then you can decide in the comments which you think is better for this first round, but I'll tell you all my thoughts after we're done. Okay, the game that you're looking at right now is Bratz, like literally just Bratz. This is the first Bratz video game in the Bratz video game series. Now, I was going to compare this game to the first Barbie game, but the Barbie games started coming out way before the Bratz ones did, so it only made sense for me to just kind of choose one that I thought best aligned. Now, in this game, it is very different than your traditional Bratz game, and this game doesn't even really compare to any of the Bratz movies. This came out kind of before that era, and really just kind of showcases the dolls in a better light. So this game right here is called Bratz Dress Up, Get Down, and Be a Bratz Superstar. It came out in 2002. I think it's on Game Boy Advance, PlayStation, and Windows. So it is a bit of an older game and is a bit different than the other games we might be talking about. So in this game, the player must dance through each level. You are kind of doing like a whole dance freestyle type of game. Each completed level unlocks new fashions, new dance moves, and you move on to the next level. So you can actually be you can play as one of the 5 Bratz girls. This is when there's actually 5 Bratz girls rather than there are 4. So you can be Yasmin, Chloe, Sasha, Jade, or Megan, which is known as the honorary 5th Bratz girl. Now, I'm going to be maybe the first to say this, but this game is not easy to play or to look at. Look at them, first of all. Look at that. They just look horrendously terrifying. First of all, this is the Game Boy Advance version. I will also show you guys the PlayStation version just so you can see like it looks a little bit better. But first of all, this game, I'm gonna be honest and just say it kind of sucks. It's not not that good. Things I liked about it, you get to play as the 5th Bratz girl, and it is an interesting take on a dance game. Other than that, that's really it. There's not really like a story mode. Like, you can finish the game. At the end of the game, you do unlock kind of like a bonus level. You do unlock, different outfits for the girls to wear and whatnot. But other than that, it's boring in my opinion. I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's clunky, it's crunchy, and I would try to be nice, but like I really don't think it's even worth me trying to be nice. This game is not that good. I don't recommend anyone to play it unless you just really love the nostalgia. Otherwise, there's not too much I really enjoyed about it. It was clunky. I was having a hard time just pressing the controls on the GBA. It's a little bit better on the PlayStation, I will say that, but otherwise, I think there's plenty of better dance games out there, and this doesn't really showcase the Bratz girls in the best light anyway. We all know that. I will say this is very interesting compared to the other Bratz games that we are going to talk about within this video. So I think it is cool to kind of bring this up to see Bratz in a game that isn't, well, you will see the more traditional styles of Bratz games. So I thought this was kind of an interesting element. But both of these games, the Princess Pauper and the Bratz game, are equally clunky and chunky and sometimes not that fun to play at times, but have their own little quirks. But I don't know, comparing the two of them, it's, really not that difficult of a choice. I think we gotta go with Drumroll.
The winner is...
Princess and the Pauper for this round. I'm gonna unfortunately have to give the Bratz game a 2 out of 5 stars. It's just too chunky for me. Like, I guess it's better the PlayStation version, but I just wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Sorry about that, but let's move on to our next set of games. Okay, we're actually moving on to something slightly more modern. We're doing Bratz Rock Angelz versus Barbie Magic Pegasus. Let's talk about these two.
Have you ever dreamed that you could soar above the clouds?
Okay, this right here is the movie Barbie and the Magic of Pegasus. This movie came out in 2005, and it was an original story not based on any previous material. I believe it's the second to actually feature some original material. So if you've never seen this movie before, basically, Barbie befriends this magical Pegasus, because unfortunately her family ends up getting turned to stone, so she has only 3 days to basically save them. So this Pegasus takes her to the Cloud Kingdom, where she's able to hopefully build this magical wand to save her family. So let's get into the video game. The video game loosely follows the same story. Basically, the evil wizard Wenlock casted a spell around everyone in the kingdom to turn them into stone. So Anika and her pet polar bear and the winged horse go on an adventure to find the magical wand of light, which is the only thing that can break the spell. So in the game, you are going to be doing all kinds of challenging puzzles, and you're going to be doing mini games, and you're going to be going through 4 locations to search for clues and to help you find Wenlock and save the kingdom. Now, right off the bat, let me just say this game looks so different than the PC version of the game. The Game Boy Advance, you just gotta really work with what you got. But for the nostalgic purposes, I will say the games are the same. If you are playing this on the PC or GBA, you will notice a very big difference in how the games look. But I promise you, they are the same game. They're just formed very differently, graphically wise. So in terms of the gameplay itself, this game also came out in 2005, the same year that the movie was released. It's weird because I can't really find the date on which came first. I believe the game and the movie came out relatively at the same time. So they kind of had this ready to go. I think they knew people were gonna be getting this. So I will say that. In terms of the gameplay itself though, it's in my opinion, pretty similar to Princess and the Pauper in terms of how you actually play the game. I started picking up on a note that maybe these princess games all kind of came out at the same time for a reason. The same company probably had to create all of these, because in terms of how you play the game, it's very, very similar to Princess and the Pauper, at least stylistically wise, and a lot of the functions you do. So it was after I had played the first one, I was already ready to go to play this one because it was the same controls. So if I'm comparing it to the last game, I guess I'm going to give it the same 3 out of 5 stars. Yes, you do control this magical wand. It's very similar in terms of story-wise to the movie, but other than that, I mean, there's nothing really that makes this game special. Honestly, I would even go as far as to say I'd give this game a 2.5 because I had already played the first one. So, I mean, yeah, you get to change your dress and there's mini games, but I just feel like I'm playing the same game but a different font. But, that's really all I have to say. At that point, you could really kind of pick your poison on just which storyline had, you like the best, and you, in my opinion, be playing basically the same game. So, yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I didn't dislike this game. I didn't love this game either. It's just, pretty similar to what I thought I had already played. So, let's move on to comparing this to the Bratz game. So this right here is Bratz Rock Angelz, which I feel like is really, if you haven't seen this movie, you gotta see it. This movie holds up, okay? Both this game and this movie both released in 2005, which is why I'm comparing both of these, being that they both released in the same year. So like the Barbie games, same thing with this, the Bratz video game is based off of this movie, Bratz Rock Angelz. So the Bratz, Jade, Chloe, Yasmin, and Sasha decide that they want to start their very own teen magazine. So what they do is they go to London to scope out this cool rock concert. But when their competitor Berdine hears of this, she decides that she is going to kind of make sure that they don't get into the concert. So what the Bratz do is they decide they're going to become a rock band, so that way they can join in the concert and get more details on how to save their magazine. So kind of a weird concept, but I'm telling you, this movie hits. The music in here is so good. Highly recommend. But we're not here to talk about the movie, we're here to talk about the game. So in the game, same thing, it loosely follows the premise of the movie. Now, I will say, playing this on the Game Boy Advance it just doesn't hit the same way as if you were to play this on the GameCube or the PlayStation, like how I had grown up playing this. I did play this on Game Boy Advance, but not the same way I played this on PlayStation 2. Okay, that was my true console when I was like playing games as I grew up. But I'm saying that this game is so cool. First of all, it is an open world adventure. The player controls one of the characters, one of the 4 girls, as you are going through the story. Now, different from the movie, actually, you are focusing mainly on the magazine as opposed to kind of the rock elements that you would from the movie. You are kind of just trying to get the magazine up and going. So you do have a lot of tasks that revolve the magazine itself, and you get to go to other places other than just London. You are traveling to a bunch of different places to get your magazine afloat. So the player can explore 4 different locations. You can go to London, you can go to Paris, the mansion, Stylesville, to learn more about how to open your magazine. So very similar premise. You are, kind of going through the game just like you would through the movie. You get a cell phone, you are checking the amount of money that you have, you're checking your objectives. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do in this game. And I think just because the fact this game is open world just allows for so much freedom, especially for something on the Game Boy Advance, like something you wouldn't even expect in a game that came out in 2005. It just has a lot of charm to it. I will say things that might be a little on the clunky side is I had some issues with a couple glitches in this game, like sometimes I would just get stuck for whatever reason. But I will also say, it can be a little clunky with controls. That is one thing. I mean, you're fitting so much in such like a small console, so there are times where things can kind of mess up. But otherwise, the game for what it is, I really, really enjoyed it. I remember playing this so much. Like picking this up again, I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to like sit and play through the whole thing. But there is a lot to do in this game. You get so many different tasks, you get different outfits, and you can do makeup and fashion. Like, this is a fashion game. Like, this just filled me with so much love. And as you can see, the way I'm rambling about this, I obviously think I'm going to have to rate this game pretty highly. But being that both this game and the Barbie game came out in the same year, you can really see what a company can do with their games and when they're really passionate about it, and you can really see that in this game. So let's get into the winner of this round, as I think this game is a 4 out of 5 stars, making
The winner is
Bratz the winner of this round. Now, maybe I'm just biased or maybe I'm just correct, but Bratz Rock Angelz not only is just a great game, but it just does something different with the Game Boy Advance system that the Barbie games just weren't doing, So I just think for what it is, I think this game is awesome, and I would still recommend this game to this day. If you are looking up a fun fashion game to play, highly, highly recommend. Let's move on to our final round. Okay, our last pairing is the Barbie Diaries High School Mystery versus Bratz Diamonds. 2 games I did not play before making this video, so let's get into it.
The Barbie Diaries.
Like the other Barbie games we talked about, this Barbie game is also based off of its own movie as well, called The Barbie Diaries. This movie released in 2006 and is more focused on like the teen side of Barbie. And growing up, this wasn't like my favorite Barbie movie, but basically Barbie's like your typical, teenage girl in high school. She's a sophomore and she's getting ready for the new year, but she has like this special diary with a charm bracelet, which allows her to kind of write down her desires and they are becoming true. So, you know, she's like wishing for all these things and these crushes, and her diary is like helping her express that and stuff. So I don't know, it's an okay-ish movie, I guess. Whereas the video game almost feels like a spin-off from the movie. So this is called the Barbie Diaries High School Mystery. This game also released in 2006, the same year as the movie, and is a bit different than the movie. So some valuables decided to go missing during the high school charity auction. So Barbie and her friends are kind of going through this like trail of clues throughout the school to find the culprit. So you're using Barbie's like high-tech gadgets, and I don't even know, like, I don't even remember this stuff in the original movie. I don't know if I'll have to like rewatch it, but you and Kevin and Tia and all her little friends are trying to figure out who is the culprit. So it's very strange. So in this game, your diary is kind of like an assistant coder kind of thing, which helps you like unscramble puzzles, has like infrared in it, has an MP3 decoder in it, like has all this cool gadgets. So your diary is some kind of high-tech thing in this game. So you are going throughout the school in like 19 different locations to really try to find the culprit. There's a bunch of mini games and puzzles, and you're really using your detective skills to play this game. I will say, from what I played of this, because I didn't play this game growing up, I really liked this game. It is like a mystery game. I'm really having like, I was struggling with some of these mini games too. Like, this game was not easy, but it is fun. I will say that. Definitely a step up from the other two Barbie games that we had talked about, and I actually really enjoyed it. I believe this game also came out at the same time as the Barbie, the 12 Dancing Princess game as well, but for some reason, I honestly, I didn't research too much about the companies, but I'm assuming a different company made the Dancing Princess game, as it looks very similar, if not the same, as the two games we had talked about previously, The Princess and the Pauper and Barbie and the Magic of the Pegasus. So I'm not sure. I think there is probably a line or chain of Barbie games that all have that similar aesthetic to it. I will dig deeply more into that if we do a part 2 of this. So just let me know in the comments. But I will say this game being different from those other two is so refreshing. I really enjoyed this. It's definitely one of those games where if you like mystery type games, and it's not saying like this game's like super difficult, there's like lots of puzzles, and you can almost assume that this happens maybe after the original movie. I will say I think I like this game more than I liked the movie a little bit. I just think it's really fun, and I heavily enjoyed it. Downside is that, you know, it is a bit dated, so some of the stuff feels like a bit ridiculous, and some of it feels a bit redundant and stressful at times as well. Like, you can't figure out certain things, or you might have like missed a clue and you don't really know where to go next, so that can sometimes be frustrating. Otherwise though, I really like this game. I think I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 stars. So right now we have 1 point for Barbie and we have 1 point for Bratz, so whatever I rate this next game will really determine who is going to be our first winner of the Battle of the Dolls. So let's talk about the next game.
The Bratz are headed for adventure in a reality road show. They have 5 days to drive across country and find the next hot teen fashion designer.
So this movie right here was called Bratz Passion for Fashion Diamonds. This movie came out in 2006, same as the Barbie movie, and the video game that we're going to be talking about after also came out in 2006 as well. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember this movie too much, and it's probably just because it was so darn weird, but I'm just gonna read the synopsis for you guys. So the Bratz girls, Chloe, Yasmin, Sasha, and Jade, hit the road for a reality TV competition called America Rocks Fashion. They travel across the country in a blinged out truck, searching for the next top teen fashion designer. Along the way, they face off against their rivals Berdine and the Tweevils. If you know who those are, they appear in other movies and games as well, all while rocking their fierce outfits and spreading girl power. So the movie is supposed to be all about friendship in fashion and following your dreams. Honestly, I don't really remember too much about this movie. This movie just was weird to me, but I mean, it is what it is. Basically, the movie is pretty similar as it follows loosely the same plot. So this game is called Bratz Forever Diamonds. In this game, you play as one of the main 4 Bratz girls, and you are going on a nationwide fashion adventure. So basically, you're competing in a reality TV show called America Rocks Fashion. So you're traveling from city to city to do these different challenges, and you're trying to look for, you know, hot teen designers for, you know, your magazine, of course, because you're still doing like magazine stuff. So in this game, you're going to be doing some mini games, designing outfits, and, you know, unlocking a lot of accessories and stuff. Now this game, like, and in terms of graphics, this game also is out on the DS, I believe it's on the GameCube, and for PlayStation 2. So I just think graphically wise, like, you really do get the short end of the stick if you're playing this on Game Boy Advance. Like, it really just doesn't do it justice. Like, look at how crunchy that looks. I apologize because that's just literally how the game looks. But if you do check out the other versions of the game, this game looks amazing, like literally amazing. But similar to the other Bratz game we talked about, this is another open world game where you are tasked to do a couple things. It's kind of similar to Rock Angelz in a way. It's almost like you're doing more kind of menial tasks. You are traveling, you are going to be doing a whole lot of just strange stuff from different areas in the game. You get to actually adopt your pet, which is really cute. There's fashion shows, there's like figure skating, and just like some really strange mini games, like the mini game that you play like as soon as the game starts. I was so confused, like what the heck am I supposed to be doing? I didn't even know this was part of the game. But there's a lot of really fun stuff, I guess I want to say, in this game, but it's also weird. It also feels a bit chaotic, if I were to say that correctly. It's kind of like you don't really know how this stuff all adds up. There's also a couple glitches I noticed in the game that can make this really upsetting, like some stuff where like the music will glitch sometimes, I've noticed. So that is kind of like just a thing with clunky controls. But I think for me, what really makes this game a little more enjoyable to me, it's just the fashion in this game. This game is heavily focused around fashion, and if you're watching this on my channel or if you see my other videos, I am a person who loves fashion games, and this game you get so many different outfit choices. You know, aside from it being kind of chaotic and the story being a bit strange as you're doing like this fashion design worldly tours and stuff, let's get into my rating of the game so we can decide who's gonna be a winner.
Contest.
Nah, I'm just kidding. It's the Bratz game. To be honest, it was really hard for me to choose out of these two games. Being that this was going to be the winning score, it was really tough for me to decide if Bratz was going to win this. And for me personally, I think this just gives me a little more of what I want in a typical video game than I would get out of the Barbie game. So I gave this game 4.5 stars. So by just 0.5, I am letting Bratz win today's tournament.
Let me know in the comments below, which do you think was the better game out of these two? I personally think the Bratz games are better. I should probably change out of this outfit. But let me know in the comments what you think was the better of both of these games, and should we do a part 2 where we talk more about these Bratz versus Barbie games in the near future? Let me know in the comments below, and follow for more game reviews. Bratz babies, gonna make it happen to the fashion. Bratz babies. Or does that look weird? It's cool. Video over. Bye!